What do I have to do now? Nope, not today. My blood pressure is high enough. Let's talk about something I enjoy for a change. How about... let's look at an indie game I like called Creeper World. No, not those kinds of creepers. God no, not those either. Although you just might prefer the exploding penises over what you fight in this game. This is Creeper World. As usual, let's talk a little bit about the story. However, Virgil's already done a great job of this for us. So let's take a look at what the man himself wrote. Alright, wait. If I'm going to do this, I have to do it in the right voice.
In the year 13271, humankind has colonized thousands of worlds. They found none their equal as they spread into a fantastic and bountiful empire. At the height of their greatness, they walked amongst the stars as though they were gods. But gods they were not. It fell from the sky without purpose or reason. 50 worlds fell on the first day. 500 billion lives were lost. World after world fell as man was routed from existence. Nothing could stop what would come to be called the Creeper. It wanted nothing. It could not be reasoned with. It seemed as though its only purpose was to undo all that man had done. But all was not yet lost. The last survivors of humanity had gathered at a world called Hope. Assembled by the visions of a crazed old man, the last of humankind marked its final hours. A great city been built to house the 50,000 that survive. It will journey from world to world, never staying longer than it must. Guided by the path set by the old man, humanity's final journey has begun.
I should totally do movie promos. Now, it wouldn't be me if I didn't find a few things to piss and moan about. So let's take a look at a few minor complaints that I have. First off, we have a nice random number for the future. That's fine. Although, to be perfectly honest, in the future would have worked just as well. The other problem is that we start rounding off numbers for how many planets were wiped out by the Creeper, and we also have a round off number for the survivors. The other problem I have is Planet Hope. Okay, I get we're going for symbolism, but this makes me wonder, what was it originally called? Like, can you just imagine the titles? Oh, the possibilities. Welcome to Planet Cancer. Come to Planet Anarchy. Or my personal favorite, welcome to Planet of the Sexually Deprived Whores. I'm sure Jay Naylor loves that one. Oh, had to get in a Naylor shot. The last complaint I have is the crazy old man. Now, obviously it worked out for us, otherwise we wouldn't have much of a game. But just imagine how badly that would have gone if he really was just batshit crazy.
At last, gentlemen, our greatest moments are upon us. We shall soon be free from this horrible creeper menace. Commander, are you sure about this? I mean, the last remnants of our city have gathered here. If this doesn't work, we are doomed. Don't worry, I have complete faith in this old man. But the whole is held together with silly putty and gum. So we were a little short on supplies. What's the radar showing about the current creeper situation? I can't tell because our readout is a light bright toy. Okay, so we'll just use the windows. Now activate the totems. We need to get out of here. Commander, the nanotechnology for the connectors isn't working. Well, keep trying. Is it working yet? No. Is it working yet? No. Is it working yet? No. We're all going to die! Everyone for themselves! Commanders first! Ugh. Medical Bay, the commander needs his sedatives. Again. I'm king of the world! Commander, get back inside the ship and stop mocking the creeper. Is it working yet? No. Is it working yet? No. Is it working yet? No.
Let's move on. As I said before, this game is a combination of real-time strategy and tower defense. The two blend together beautifully, but why should I tell you about it when I could just show you a level through a Let's Play? Oh, thought you could escape my horrible Let's Plays by watching my reviews? You were wrong!
Okay, take two because Cam Stew decided to be a little bitch with me. This is the demo that I'm going to be doing. It's Nice Job 24 the Astronomer, created by one of my favorite, if not sadistic, map makers, Upperkeys. The storyline is not really important for this, it's just what he set up for this story. If you really care about it, you can read it, but I'm not here to talk about this level specifically. I'm here to talk about how to play the game in general. Now, you'll notice a few things. Right here is Owen City, which I'm going to be moving. You can set up things to be moved while the game is paused, which is always nice. Owen City, you protect with your life. This little green ring right here indicates the health of Owen City. These little things right here that have already started producing yellow crap are creeper emitters. These little bastards are what make the game so difficult. You see, you can kill the creeper. You have weapons to chip away at. But these, and this one over here, will just keep producing it. Forever. Even long after you, your family, your loved ones, your weapons, and your systems are all buried underneath an ocean of creeper, it'll still keep producing this crap. So on that cheerful note, let's get building. First thing you're going to notice I'm doing is setting up some basic collectors here. Collectors are the fastest way to harvest energy, which, as you might guess, is going to be our primary form of currency in this game. Also, these little dots here, you can turn them on and off. The green one powers these little things right here, which are your totems. You need to connect to totems to escape. This right here sends out your building packets, and these red dots are your ammo packets. The green you really don't need on until the very end of the game when you're ready to clear out. Right here are reactors. These are more powerful versions of collectors, and they're not nearly as limited. You'll notice as collectors get built, they turn the ground a different color. This signifies how much energy they're actually collecting. So if you overlap these collectors, it's not going to do you any good. Reactors don't have that problem. They always give you a fixed amount of energy, but they take a while to build. Right over here is where you can raise your energy output. This right here indicates how many reserves you have. Right now I'm at 0. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Down here you can get the specifics. Collection shows how much energy you're getting, I believe it's per second. Depletion shows how much you are spending per second. And the deficit shows how much in the hole you are. Having a deficit is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. You can play on a deficit. A lot of levels you will have to play on a deficit for a while. The thing is, as long as it's low, it's not a problem. However, once your deficit gets up to, say, 50 or higher, you start noticing it takes longer for packets to get sent out. A deficit just means that everything has to be queued to get what it wants, instead of being able to simultaneously send things out like you see what's happening right here. Now this creeper's starting to become a bit of a nuisance, so I'm going to build a few mortars here to deal with it. Mortars will be our primary form of attack for most of this level. And while those are building, I will go ahead and explain a few things down here. First off, we have relays. Relays can be useful. I don't use them that much personally. Like if I wanted to connect over here real quick, I would use a relay. If I wanted to jump from here to here or something, I would use a relay. They don't actually collect energy themselves, they're just useful for bridging gaps. There's a lot of specific circumstances where they're useful and where they're not. What I have in here now is a storage unit. This will increase my overall energy storage capabilities. These are useful if you plan on spam building, which I will be doing later on in the level. Just remember that if you plan on spam building a lot of weapons, and there you can see the mortar in effect. If you plan on spam building weapons, you're probably going to want to make sure you have enough energy to afford doing that. Right now, I don't have enough energy, because ammo consumes energy as well. So, I've got basic defense up. This will hold the creeper up forever. I'm not joking. However, it won't allow us to advance, so we're going to need to become much more aggressive in our approach. These right here, these little red things, are speed packets. These are also very useful. You see how the packets move? Throw a few speed nodes up here, and these packets will zip along your network. While I'm here, might as well explain the weapons. Blaster is good for shallow pools like this. Aw, shit, I forgot the SAMs. That's gonna cost me. And, I think I'm actually doing worse than the first playthrough now. As I was saying, build some of these SAMs to hold off what you just saw, which are spore attacks. Not all levels have spores. If they do, you have a nice indicator right here, and I got ahead of myself and forgot about them. Fortunately, that first wave was light. I was able to rebuild almost everything right away. This will be refilled soon, and it will be chipping away at the creeper, just like always. This particular island I built on is the highest of all these planets. So, first thing you want to do is make sure you set up enough SAMs so that doesn't happen again. SAMs are short for surface-to-air missiles, if you can't figure that out. And the last weapon we have here is a drone. And no, you really should not be building as much as I am all at once. Also, I'm going to go and kick this game into double speed, because now I'm done explaining the basics. These little floating things here, 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 and here, these are upgrades. Upgrades can be used to increase one of 6 options for this level only. They only last a level, they do not carry over to other levels. This goes for a conquest mode, story mode, the special op maps, and of course custom maps like this one. Okay, everything, all the basics are explained, so I might as well talk a little bit about the history, and I'll demonstrate this drone real quick too. Drones are portable mortars basically. They'll make a few passes over this, I forget how many exactly. And that is how you deal with spores. Alright. Now, a bit of history behind this game. This is created by Virgil of Knucklecracker Studios. He originally made a game prior to this called Shop Rider, I believe is what it was called. It was an experiment to see how popular a Flash game of his could get. He liked the results he got, he made something that was entertaining, and so he decided to take a more profitable approach at making these games. This is where this game came into being. This game was first seen by me personally at Armor Games, as well as One More Level and Congregate. Up on those 3 sites, the Creeper World Training Sim was uploaded. It's a set of 5 different maps, at least I think it's 5. You don't find them in the main storyline because it is just a training sim. A very, very small portion of story is included. But for the most part, it's just kind of designed to get you used to how the game works. I'm going to build another one. It's just for safekeeping. Because you never know whenever one stray spore might slip through your network and screw everything up. Now as you can see, the creeper back here is actually starting to recede. Proof that we are making headway. Now, I'm producing quite a bit, so I can be a little bit more aggressive. I haven't really demonstrated it, but these weapons can be moved around after being built, so I'll throw some up here.
and then move them over here. And can I make that? Yes, I can. Now, these blasters, as you can see, they chip away at stuff very quickly. They also consume a lot of energy because they are constantly firing usually. These I'm not going to keep here. They're going to get moved over here to clear out this back area, which will become a major energy farm. And it works just like that. Okay, so the history. It's created by Virgil. The training sim was first seen on, like, those free gaming websites like I mentioned. And I pretty much fell in love with the game since then. It wasn't long until I bought the full version. It's only like $10. Creeper World 2 is also out, which has a bit of a different approach than this game. In this game, you are the survivors. You are trying to live. Creeper World 2, you are the attackers. And I'm going to lose this. Actually, no, I didn't, because these things can also shoot spores the second they land. That can't save your ass. I might as well turn these on. As you can see, the packets go out green, they charge up the totems. So, to complete this game, all I have to do is connect to this, and worst of all, this. And I gotta collect this up here. That's how the game is finished. You can cap off these emitters, and you will need to finish the level. But you don't have to always cap them off. The main thing to remember is that you are constantly on the run in this game. And this is why it's useful to build some of those, more of these storage units, so you don't go into a deficit so quickly when you spam build. Alright, so now I'm going to begin the main attacking phase, trying to clear out all of this and work my way forward to this comet first. At least that's what this one represents. Also, you gotta be careful with the terrain on some of these levels, because you can only build on flat terrain. So these little bumps right here and here, you can't build anything over that. That can be a pain in the ass. It's especially a pain in the ass right up here. All of these are up on the highest ledge possible. You have to build on a ledge lower to surround them and cap them off. That's how you beat this level. Now to collect a ruin, all you do is build a collector right on top of it. And it'll pop up the message automatically. Okay, since I'm almost at the phase, I'll show you. This is typically how you want to cap off an emitter. Surround it from all sides, and blast away anything it produces the second it comes out. On heavy emitters like this, that's a bit more of a challenge. This emitter is pretty much now no longer a threat. Alright, here we go, upgrades. In this case, I'm not too worried about the energy bits, so we will work on improving my weapons first. Increase fire range, increase fire rate, and increase movement speed. Alright, this I've been waiting for. Clear this out. Move a mortar onto here. And you'll want to do the same as soon as you can over here. Alright, this is the point where you're going to want to spam build these things like mad. Because I have a very specific plan for all of these. You're going to want to line this area right here. Also won't hurt to go ahead and get the build 20% faster upgrade. And if you can, everything costs 10% less, because timing is going to be very important here. As you can see, I have to move that if I want to get the upgrade. I'm also going to need to keep this node to build right there. And now the tricky part. I cannot guarantee this will work the first time. What you're going to want to do is build everything up as far along here as you can. pay attention to what you're clicking. Once it's been selected to move, it gets this white glow. That should honestly be good enough. And as soon as you do this, be ready to extend your network. And it worked. Now the only thing you have to do is make way a little bit on here, so you can get one more collector in there. There's room just enough to build that. It's not the best time in the world, but it works. Just like that, the tomes activate, the rift pops open, and Known City flies through to another world.
Obviously, the game has a completely, entirely 8-bit look to it, with the exception of some small things like Odin City, your weapons that you build, your structures you build. But overall, it's an 8-bit appearance, which works. It works well for this game. It makes it very easy to predict how the creeper is going to move in most cases, unless you get some really erratic emitters. But overall, I like the design for it. Music is very dull, it's somber, there's nothing really worth writing home about with this music track. But let's put this in context, okay? You are the last of humanity. You are fleeing for your survival. You don't know if you're going to make it to the next day. This fits perfectly with the music. I mean, would it really work so well if, say, we used this track? Is it funny? Oh yeah. But does it really work with the game? Not at all. Creeper World's an indie game that manages to bring something new to the table, or at least it was new a year or two ago when it came out. This is a reason that you should support indie developers. You have big name companies that will focus on surefire ways of making money. Indie developers don't have these restrictions. They'll make whatever they want to their heart's content, and Creeper World is a great example of how that can pay off for you. Now, it's not a game for everyone. If you don't like real-time strategy games, probably won't like it. You don't like tower defense games, you probably won't like it. But if you're at least interested in either one, then give it a shot. For Christ's sake, you can do a demo of this game. And if you're worried about not getting your money's worth if you buy the full thing, consider this. There are user-created maps. Virgil fully supports users taking the map editor and just going nuts and making whatever they want. All these are hosted on his own website. You can download so many maps. In fact, the Creeper World count alone is up to over 4,000 custom maps. Creeper World 2 is well on its way to that. Trust me, you'll be busy for a very long time. In the end, you have to decide, is this your kind of genre or not? If it is, give it a shot. This is Xander, see you. Let's do, there we go. And this is just the intro, folks.